let's get into conversation with Mr. Swaminathan Iyer, the consulting editor at ET Now, about everything that's transpired globally, from Trump's comments to the SCO summit. Lots to discuss. And Swami sir, thanks for joining us today. First up, on Donald Trump's comments that India has agreed to lower tariffs to about nothing. What are you making of this comment? And it comes at a time when we're hearing a lot of positive commentary on the other side from the SCO summit. Is it just a diversion strategy, or do you believe there's actually some merit to these comments? How is this going to play out?
There is no strategy. Mr. Trump talks what he wants, when he likes, changes it today, day after tomorrow. He called India a dead economy when he knows perfectly well it's one of the fastest growing economies in the world. At one point of time, he called Mr. Putin a great guy, and Zelensky was in the way of peace. He just reversed it totally right now. So I said, just don't take individual statements seriously. In any case, Mr. Trump says that India offered zero tariffs. There is no confirmation of any kind of this. If you remember just a few days ago, there was this other report that Mr. Trump had tried 4 times to call Mr. Modi, and Mr. Modi had refused to respond, which would have been just the opposite. I mean, Mr. Trump is trying to give the kind of notion of an India that is begging and says, please, please, I'm willing to do this for you. Whereas the other report suggested just the other way around, that Mr. Trump may have wanted to say this, but Mr. Modi was not interested in listening. So, I would not go by unconfirmed issues of this kind. I will simply say this. There is no way India would have offered to cut tariffs to nothing when it has not done so with anybody else, and when it has raised these issues in regard to various sensitive issues, especially in agriculture. So it is not going to happen that just India gives way without getting something else in return. Mr. Trump never says, what am I going to give up in return? He only wants to beat other guys on the head. So at this point of time, let's not take that statement seriously. I would also say, let us not take too seriously the notion that Mr. Modi is not taking calls from Mr. Trump. These are unconfirmed things. Let's just say that there is a standoff between the two countries. And I'm glad India is standing up, and I'm glad that India is not giving way. What some people said. The tariff has been raised to 50. There are various ways of retaliation. It does not have to be by tariffs. We can just tell them quietly, look, sir, there is no way I'm going to buy multi-billion-dollar deals of aircraft from you if you are going to be putting a 50% tariff on me. That is retaliation by other means. So, there are various ways of retaliating. You don't have to be on tariffs alone. And this is important today because please remember, this is no longer a tariff issue. This is a foreign policy issue. Mr. Trump has raised tariffs not because something happened in India on the tariff side. It's entirely a foreign policy way of saying, hey, at this point of time, I'm trying to beat Russia on the head. You are making that a little more difficult to buy their oil, so I'll hit you on the head also. At which point we would say, this is not a tariff issue. This has nothing to do with reciprocity. You are trying to tell me that you will twist and twist and twist and until I give up my independent foreign policy. So the answer is there's no way we are going to give that up. We don't necessarily have to say so in a rude fashion, but let's be clear. We are going to, on foreign policy, definitely we will stand up. On trade, we are flexible within the limits of our own limitations. We are not just going to open up agriculture, for instance, in general. On the other hand, you would say, let there be duty-free entry for cherries and pistachios. I mean, that can be done, those are small details. So that kind of thing can be done as part of a deal. But we said, if you are asking that we should give this up, what is it, Mr. Trump, that you are going to give up? So as I said, let's not just talk about unilateral things being given up here and there. Let us wait till we have a little more solid, confirmed news on the state of negotiations. And only, I think, at that point is any serious analysis possible. Till then, we are just speculating in the dark.
Right.
And Swami sir, while there's Trump on one hand, there is all the power dynamics which were at play in China at the SCO summit, right? I mean, Modi going to China for the first time in 7 years, and the power dynamics which were very visible between Putin, Modi, as well as Xi Jinping. What kind of messaging do you think that is bringing about to the world?
Look, the foreign policy guys will use any kind of meeting or phone call as a huge, great event. But frankly, this was not a bilateral event between India and Xi Jinping or between Modi and Mr. Putin. This was a long scheduled thing. And at these kind of large meetings like the SCO, everybody says good things about everybody else. If you think that the relationships have suddenly changed, please, let's not be naive. Let's not be naive in suddenly saying, China wants to be a friend with India. China remains a firm friend of Pakistan. China intends to dominate the 21st century. Please let us not in things. Just before we had a little spat with Mr. Trump, and then Mr. Modi happened to visit, not as a visit to China, but just as a meeting of the Shanghai Cooperation Agreement. I mean, let's not read too much into that. It's a routine thing. It has taken place. But the fact remains that China is a threat to us, especially in foreign terms. The border is not by any means settled. China continues to claim that the whole of Arunachal Pradesh is South Tibet, belongs to them. It has prevented ADB and so on from giving any foreign aid for us to build dams in that particular territory. So let us not pretend that we are friends or we have suddenly cooled up just on a small little thing, sir. At this point of time, we are very wary of each other. We are not open foes. We are trying to arrange that we tread a line between giving up and getting too tough. But at the same time, let us be clear. China is a friend of Pakistan, and the two together see themselves as having a great strategic thing. China has given this route all the way to the Gulf, where it intends to, in due course, dominate the entire oceans and the ocean trade at that particular point. India is going to have to work itself on making itself a major economic and then a defense power. Nobody else is going to come to its rescue. And please do not think that two smiles from Mr. Xi Jinping means that the relations have changed at all. It remains that there is a fundamental antagonism, both on the border and on the Chinese belief that they should be setting the rules.
Very interesting point there, Swami sir. We wanted to focus and talk only about our economy standalone now. The kind of GDP growth that we've seen at that 7.8% mark, much better than what the street was estimating. But then again, this is also on the back of the RBI front loading as well as front loading of demand due to tariffs. How sustainable do you think this kind of growth is for our economy going ahead, especially now that tariffs come into play?
I would say that initially many people thought that the GDP rate would fall very substantially. In the first place, there was the notion that 7.4% in the previous quarter was, that was just a freak result. It had just shot up and it would come down in any case. And Nanda Nageshwaran was talking about 6.5 overall. So people said it will come down. Now it is true that the tariff business may have resulted in some temporary exceeding charge, but at the end of it all, to have achieved 7.6%, it is way above my expectations. And I think it shows that there is some fundamental economic dynamism on the economy, which for some reason we are not able to put our finger on what exactly is doing it. You find people complaining, oh, investment is not enough. Oh, consumption is not enough. And yet, if investment and consumption is enough for 7.6 growth in these circumstances, how on earth can you say investment is not enough? How can you say consumption is not enough? It is enough for a 7.5% growth rate. That is a pretty fantastic achievement. I will simply say this: India consistently for the last 2-3 years has been outperforming not only other countries, but India's own expectations. It keeps coming out better quarter after quarter. Now, there was an idea that there was an exceptional thing on the GDP deflator and it will equalize in due course. No, it has not equalized. It has remained very, very high, averaging well above 7%. So I would say the Indian economy is showing unexpected sources of strength, far greater than we had expected. And this kind of economy should certainly be able to withstand various strains put by Mr. Trump. The way things are going, I would say that we should easily achieve or exceed the official growth target of 6.5%. The way things are going, I mean, it's almost saying as though we are once again going to cross 7%. Let us not be too quick in judging the future quarters GDPs. I'm merely saying we've got off to a very good start.
All right, Swami sir, with this we let you go on that. Thank you so much for taking the time out and speaking with us.